gonna ask all the artists with exhibitions around if they can come here, and they will have a few minutes to say something about the proposal that they have brought to the La FIBA. So if you can come here around, if you're in the room, I'm gonna ask first if we have here the people responsible of the Imaging Peace exhibition. You, Tiffany? And Ingrid is around too. Okay, so you have 3 minutes to talk about your exhibition, okay?
I have a couple of slides.
Yes, they are ready.
I use this? Okay, brilliant. So my research in the exhibition out in, it's in the dining room area, on the screen and a bit on the walls, is really, its background is in an academic research project. I'm not actually an artist, I'm a researcher. And it's really concerned with this question of the invisibility of peace and the visibility of peace. If we do a quick Google image search, the problem is starkly revealed. We have hundreds and thousands of very specific images of war. But when we do search for images of peace, we come up with all sorts of symbols, cliches, and relatively a lot of images that don't actually have any people in it. So this question of how peace is visualized is really reflective of a wider challenge we have around how we define and give meaning to peace and also communicate it with others. It also speaks to questions around peace literacy. And so often when we see peace visualized, it's visualized through war itself rather than in and of its own right. So images work as very potent political forces, and they can work to drive conflict and polarization as much as they can do to foster peace. But my research, I'm based at the Department of War Studies at King's College in London, and I've been undertaking a 5-year research project called Imaging Peace. And it's really concerned with this question of what a photography of peace might consist of. We know a lot about war photography, but there isn't really a genre of peace photography, and why isn't there one? Of course, as is often the case, the real world and the practice world, in the real world, things are happening way ahead of the theoretical or conceptual world. So of course peace photography is thriving around the world, even if we don't necessarily have, if we're not necessarily conscious of a genre of peace photography. I used my research project as a chance to do a multi-country study or finding examples of peace photography from around the world. I worked with local peace actors, photographers, cultural organizations, and built collaborative research around what a photography of peace might consist of. And in the exhibition, in total, on our website, we've got about 26 case studies. There's quite a number of academic articles. There's an academic book coming out next year. But probably what is most relevant and useful to everyone here is we've published this peace photography guide. It's free and downloadable from our website. It's available in French, English, and Spanish. The exhibition is made up of 8 of the contributing projects who have fed into the research. We have looked at projects from very diverse peace and conflict settings from all over the world, using a whole range of what we're calling visual peace methods. Because of course, the way that images and photography can support peace isn't really just about the representation of peace or using images to depict peace, but it's thinking about how visual processes, the production of images, the sharing of images can also foster wider dialogue, depolarization processes, healing, reconciliation. So just to speak to the whole conference theme, the idea of a pluriverse of peace, photography as a medium allows us to see very plural visions of what peace is, and the Imaging Peace research, and you just get a flavor of it in the digital exhibition out in the dining room area, but on the website you get a lot more, and in the guide, I think there are 122 pages with loads of stunning images from all over the world in terms of their images made not by professionals but by communities and localized projects, giving us very plural visions of what peace is or might be. And so I do encourage you to download the guide. It's got exercises and activities in the back of it. So it's very much a practical resource for people who are interested in thinking about how they can use visual peace methods in their own work. There's a website too with all the case studies on. So very nice to meet you all, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Tiffany. Yeah, it's okay. We're fine. Thank you, Tiffany. You can see the exhibition around. They had a workshop yesterday too, and now I'm going to call to the stage to Carlos Ordaz, who brought to the La Ciba an exhibition about Casal de la Pau here in Barcelona.
Thank you. Good morning. I will make my presentation in Spanish, sorry, but if someone wants more information, or we can do it in petit comité in English, it's not a problem. El Casal de la Pau de Barcelona es un espacio físico que existió, que tiene precedentes, pero que existió, se materializó a mediados de la década de los 70 y duró hasta mediados de la década de los 90. Podéis ver algunas imágenes, algunas fotografías, algunos carteles. Están justo donde están el café, a la derecha, y algunos carteles. Y después, si subís a la primera planta, tanto a la derecha como a la izquierda, tenéis carteles, imágenes de las campañas y de algunas fotografías de la época. El Casal de la Pau de Barcelona es un espacio muy importante para todo lo que es la historia de la genealogía del movimiento por la paz, la no violencia, el antimilitarismo y más cosas en Cataluña, pero no solamente en Cataluña, también en España e incluso en conexión con otros puntos. En el Casal de la Pau de Barcelona se comienza a articular un movimiento vinculado con la no violencia y con el pacifismo, que tiene un profundo sentido antifranquista en la época, a veces más consciente, otras veces no tanto, y que después deriva en muchos afluentes diferentes, ¿no? Pensad que algunos de los grupos que pasan por el Casal de la Pau de Barcelona son, por ejemplo, el Comité Antinuclear de Cataluña, que es uno de los grupos que articulará el movimiento ecologista y el movimiento antinuclear en el resto del Estado español, y será uno de los puntos de referencia de las ideas y de los debates intelectuales sobre la ecología y el movimiento antinuclear en España. Era un espacio de encuentro, era un espacio, y esto es importante tenerlo presente, la importancia de los espacios en esta era digital y en esta era en la cual es tan sumamente difícil conseguir espacios propios, ¿no? Y más en un sitio como estaba, que era el centro de Barcelona. Ahora es impensable poder disponer de un espacio que no sea a través de las instituciones, ¿no? Pensad que el movimiento estudiantil tiene las aulas, el movimiento obrero tiene las fábricas, incluso el movimiento vecinal tiene el barrio. Los movimientos sociales necesitan el espacio de encuentro, el espacio de conectar, el espacio donde ir, el espacio de referencia. Eso era el Casal de la Pau, y aquí aparecieron muchos grupos y se diversificaron. Y pasó por muchas etapas, porque en lo que se convierte el Casal de la Pau en la década de los 80 es diferente en cierta forma a lo que es en la década de los 70. Fue uno de los puntos neurálgicos de toda la campaña contra la OTAN y generó unas sinergias que además hacen entender todo el pozo que quedó en el pacifismo y la no violencia, e incluso en la transmisión de conocimientos. Es decir, la forma de la desobediencia civil en Cataluña en gran parte se explica por el peso del Casal de la Pau, no solamente por el Casal de la Pau de Barcelona, pero es fundamental en la genealogía, ¿vale? Incluso muchos de los grupos, como el Centro de las, el propio ICIP, o otros de los grupos que actualmente existen, como Novac, etcétera, de alguna forma tienen un precedente en el Casal de la Pau. Incluso la campaña de la insumisión al servicio militar y otras campañas como la información de defensa para el soldado, las resistencias a las guerras de los Balcanes, etcétera, tienen su origen o no se pueden entender su fortaleza sin el Casal de la Pau de Barcelona. Repito, si tienen algún interés y quieren, aquí me tienen y seguimos hablando. Gracias.
Gracias, Carlos. next one is Ophelia. Gracias, Carlos. Thank you, Carlos. And the next one is Ophelia, if she can come to the stage to talk about one exhibition we have about the Odam region, the Odam territory.
Thank you. How banjugik anye ya chikmo amajadan ki amajad arajuk basoche man sis apta ajia homoj basoche man yek wa picture man hai chukani basoche man amajad matas imama jo kam skutok thumach kam matada tkia. My name is Ophelia Rivas, and I'm speaking in the language before 1491. And thank you. I'm a resistor and a survivor. I started documenting in photography and video the land of my homelands, which happens to be in the US and Mexico. And so the photograph you see on this wall over here is the photographs of the militarization of our homelands, which is walls and military installations of spyware, which is the integrated fixed towers that's also at the Gaza Strip that is monitoring our people 24/7 throughout the lands. We have 62 miles of international border, and first was the vehicle barrier that stopped our crossing back and forth into our communities that are on both sides of the border. And then now there's a metal wall, and we're forced to carry documents such as our federal issue tribal ID that has our number, but also forced by the United States government to obtain their IDs, which are US passports and so forth. So today I'm here on a secondary verified US passport, and sometimes it's difficult to get back into the United States. But these pictures will, if you can look, it has a little description of what the pictures are about. One is about the Hashan, which is the saguaro cactus. They grow and they live to be over 200 years old. And sometimes I want to sit there and ask them some questions, and maybe they'll tell me some stories, I don't know. And there's also a picture of the integrated fixed tower, which is 180 feet tall and has a capacity of 46 miles to hear and see and live record your movement. And one is sitting above my community and watches everything that each of us does, and seems to be criminalizing the people of the land, and also limiting our mobility and limiting our rights of our culture and our way of life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ophelia. And by the way, she's going to be later today at 5 p.m. here in the plenary room for the last panel of the day about surveillance. So if you want to know more about her and about her work, come here at 5. Next one, before the last one, it's in this case from Mexico, from North America, we go to Bosnia. In this case, if you can come to the stage, Joan.
Hello, thank you for having me here. I came with a video project, Borderline Disorder. And I'm not an artist, but a researcher, and I try to just find different mediums to convey my research. The borderline disorder talks about the event that actually happened yesterday, 30 years ago. So on 21st of November of 1995, the peace agreement. The Dayton Peace Agreement was signed in Dayton, Ohio, in the United States, and it ended the war in Bosnia and Herzegovina. It technically ended the war, the fighting, like the shelling, the shooting. But if we look at Bosnia, today, 30 years later, we can see that it didn't solve the conflict. It just froze it. So we have a frozen state of the conflict in the country. So the violence didn't end. It just took different forms, and now it is performed with soft power mechanisms such as divided politics of memories, competing school systems. It is sustained by the institutions. My project, the video project, it talks about it looks to this frozen peace from the very specific perspective, which is the boundary line, the inter-entity boundary line that was created in the Annex 2 of the peace agreement. And this is this red line that basically divides the country into two entities, Republika Srpska, inhabited mostly by Bosnian Serbs, and Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina, inhabited mostly by Bosniaks, which are Muslims, and Croats. And this was a very controversial line from the beginning because it actually follows wartime front line. So it's saturated with trauma and with emotions. In my project, I focused on the fragment of this boundary line, which is in Sarajevo and cuts the city to Istočno Sarajevo, Serbian part, and Sarajevo. And the line, during the siege that lasted for 4 years, on these points, there were sniper points, there were artillery, so the city was shooted for 4 years so these places are saturated with trauma. I chosen specific sites, and I looked at them not as fixed points, but as a kind of dynamic assemblages of history, ideologies, memories, emotions. That's why I use archival materials, also interviews and my videos. And each of the places tells about different aspects of post-war reality, like the identity shift from Yugoslavian to more nationalistic, about the failed transition from socialism to capitalism, because the Bosnian land is now sold off mostly to foreign capital, and the city is taken from their citizens. So in my project, I would like to talk about the problems that actually most post-conflict places face, like unhealed trauma, unfinished peace process, economical and political problems. Thank you so much. My project is on the first floor in the hall. Thank you.
Thank you, Joan. And now we're going for the last one before the workshops. It's a special one because it's a special project that we created for this conference. So Joel from Besark, you can come to the stage. I'm going to stay with you because this is a project that we have created with Build Up and IFIP just for the conference. And it's a very special project that actually we need your help. So we're going to tell you how it goes, and then we will ask you for help later today. So Joel, if you can explain what's Besart and what are we doing?
Bon dia a tothom. Hello, my name is Joel. You might know me from the Paint Your Own Back workshop, and I'm a local artist here in representation of Besart, the River Museum. First, I'd like to say that I'm very proud of how the bags came out. You all loosened up and made some beautiful work. It's so beautiful, actually, that my superior this morning told me, oh, I saw the bags you painted yesterday, and they are looking great. And I was like, I didn't paint any of them. You all did. So also take the opportunity to remind you that there are still some already dry hanging there. So don't forget your art. And now I'll tell you a bit about our project, Besart, the River Museum. So we have the Besòs River, right, that limits Barcelona from the north and separates it, for instance, with the city of Santa Coloma de Gramenet. This river used to be one of the most polluted rivers in Europe from all the industrial residue that was disposed of there. But since a while ago, the Hall and the local authorities have revived the river as a beautiful natural space. And what our project does is try and decorate the walls of this space with art so that the people that walk there or practice sports can also stimulate the site. We are bringing international and local artists from many different disciplines to each paint their own wall in however way they feel to express themselves. But we also make some collaborative projects. Every year we try to come up with something for the Peace Forum, and maybe so that you remind yourselves of the power of images and lateral thinking that comes with the liberty of art. And so I inform you that at 13:15, at 1:15 p.m., we will be offering a walk through this museum in process, and we will also give you the opportunity to help us paint this mural that another local artist, Lluvia, is making with one of our stencils that represents this event. So please join us in the afternoon and participate in what will be the largest museum in the world. Thank you very much.
As you can see, this mural is really big. It's 17 meters long, and the artist Lluvia really needs our help because she's kind of like running late, and she asks people to go to help and paint, actually. So our proposal is at 1:15, if you can grab like some lunch at 1, or if you want to take something and just go with Joel and walk, we're gonna walk. It's like 50 minutes walk to the...
50-minute walks, but
the
it's
mural.
beautiful.
15, 20 minutes, and then you will have the chance to get outside your inner graffiti person. So please join us and let's go to paint. Thank you, Joel.
Thank you.